Welcome to the Titans Talk Show once again. Ladies and gentlemen, we have somebody very interesting this evening to light up the show. Kumar Prasoon. Kumar has spent good number of years in the industry, lighting up the retail, real estate and a couple of smart industries as we go along. So I'm going to have some interesting discussions with him and pull out topics that you never thought would be discussed on this show. Kumar, welcome to Titans Talk Show.
Thank
Good
you
to
very
have
much.
you on board.
Yeah.
So tell us, Kumar, you've been with the Saphir Group now for a few years, and I know that you have done some incredible things out there.
I joined Al Saphir in 2012, and when I joined there, it was like we had many disparate systems like any industry, and the first step was actually I call it more like a CDH platform, which is a central data hub. The consolidation was the first step of any digital transformation. So having all the multiple applications on one CDH platform. Then second layer was creating the MDM platform, which is the master data management platform, and then leveraging the analytics layer. So that was more important. And last but not the least, in order to make this entire journey smarter, you need to inject algorithms. So that was important, and that's how AI and robotics or some kind of smart formula to drive the analytics was important.
Interesting, thank you. So for some of you who don't know Kumar, he's a guy who loves and breathes technology. So I'm going to not waste any time and jump directly into some interesting questions. So tell us, Kumar, how do you keep yourself abreast of a lot of technology that's happening around you? And I know for a fact that you are one of those people who talks about cutting edge and actually jumps into it and gets your hands wet. So how do you do that? And
it's all about keeping yourself abreast with business, the missing links between business and the technology, right? So the technology advancement has gone through Darwinism, I call it. So I call it technology Darwinism. But at the same time, business has to map to the technology. And the role of the CIO is more now from a chief information officer to a chief innovation officer. So he needs to bring that innovation element in whatever he does. So it's very important that you take time off to talking to your stakeholders, business stakeholders. At the same time, you talk to your partners, you talk to a lot of intellectual consortiums. So I think that brings a lot of innovation on your different subjects. So that I have been doing for years, and it has, just like in army, you say army becomes a way of life. Similarly, for the CXOs or especially the CIOs, innovation becomes a way of life.
what gets you out of bed every morning?
I advocate a lot the second habit of Dr. Stephen Covey, which is begin with the end in the mind. So I think that those 8 to 10 hours that you spend at work has to be very, very productive. It has to bring the real kind of business value, augmented with technology and the right kind of pursuits.
So, and this again a question specific to you, Kumar. You are always at the cutting edge, and you're living on the finest of technology. You have a team reporting into you. Not all of them would be breathing the same environment. So what happens is, do you get yourself into disconnect issues, or how do you get them to keep pace with you and keep galloping at the same time?
That's the right term, actually, galloping here. So basically, I believe in the best way to sell any concept or point to either your stakeholders or partners, or partners, I mean the vendors, or it can be, the associates or your management team. So I call them as stakeholders, or even your team is a stakeholder. Sure. The best way to sell is oversimplify the subject, number one. Number two, get into the shoes, and then bring change management by proven case studies. So these are the 3 ways I basically, inculcate to make things actually happen. So you need to get into the shoes, because the moment you inject change management in the existing fabric of the ecosystem, you are trying to create another cost containment. You know what I'm saying? Which is, so I mean, you are trying to bring certain things which can have cost, and by simplifying it, you bring the cost containment.
So a question here that will be apt for you is, Douglas Adams is one of my favorite authors.
Wow.
And he used to say, people are hooked on to technology when what you really want is something that works. What's your take on it?
Wow. Most of the technologies fail because of because the foundations might be somewhere might be set right or might not be set right. So basically, technologies are made to evolve in an ecosystem actually, and that's the reason I said in the just a few minutes back, it's very important to have your foundations based on what is going to sustain technology. So it's very important to talk about sustainability whatever you do it. Right now I'll just take one example. So very interesting, especially on the smart contracts, you know what I'm saying. So I'm evangelizing a technology to how I can have all the contracts of my complete ecosystem on a blockchain platform. So if this gets implemented, it's gonna have a lot of savings on my bottom line.
Which brings me to the next question, blockchain.
Yeah.
What's your view on it, and where do you see the industry going with it? It could be related to your specific industry or something outside of your industry.
Yeah. A lot of great people like you have asked me this question: where blockchain? What is blockchain, and what is the future of blockchain? If I talk about blockchain actually is all about in one line. The one liner for this is trusted computing. So you are talking about different blocks to communicate to each other with trust. Now, the moment you say, for example, you might have come through a data warehousing kind of Oracle or SAP kind of platform where the technology had, we're conversing to each other, but via XMLs, via this. Right. Here, you can think about an interface which is completely cyber secure. So people thought about data security at this level, but here you are talking about complete network security. That's where the difference is. So the use cases which I foresee, nothing can be bigger than blockchain Darwinism.
Really?
Blockchain itself is the Darwinism of our current ecosystem, but nothing can be bigger. So basically it's gonna be something like blockchain, and then blockchain itself will become a new world, because blockchain gives a typical value to your tangible as well as intangible transactions.
Artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
I know it's close to your heart. I know you've been there a few years back. Have you used it in a real life scenario, and do you remember any example you want to share with us?
Yes. I believe AI more from a software point of view. Right. Yeah, because something very interesting I want to talk about is it is a more of a SaaS model which was used sometime back for a VAT implementation. We had multiple systems, and we had an auto batch process that collects data, that ingests data from various OLTPs databases, and it collects VAT for all of us, and we have the journal of transaction posted to Oracle. I'm just sorry for getting in the technical side, but I'm just giving you a live case study. Can you imagine the kind of massive transaction security that we have created through this batch automation process, which itself is a software bot, or you can call it a software artificial intelligence. So this RoboVat is one of the most unique example I see and operate every day. Why? Because we cater to logistics, we cater to properties, we cater to rentals, we cater to daily sales, right, of the supermarkets. Of course, procurement, big time, locally and internationally. So that's how it is.
How do you determine what technology is the right for your business or for your organization?
Actually, I believe a technology can always be right or wrong for any organization. The first and foremost thing I always say is the mindset. I believe that mindset has to be right for the organization. What exactly is the vision? So technology has to be aligned. I always say that tech is something part of the ops strategy, right? To drive ops, or tech enables the op, or for a better empowerment of your decisions. But again, it has to be transformed from the actual executive. What exactly is your mindset? For example, if you say, "Oh, are we good on SAP?" That's not the question. The question is, are we good on implementing a technology that takes care of us all? So now technology can be good, and that is the reason massive organizations have landed up into thousands and hundreds or scores, or I should say scores and hundreds and thousands of applications, and they are getting maintained by different partners.
Yeah.
Why? Because if there is a holistic vision, then I think you can have some kind of technology implant. I call it technology implant in that particular organization. And thankfully, I thank to the tech gurus and and the Silicon Valley and all the or the fraternity, or the great souls of this fraternity, to evangelize blockchain, in which the legacy modernization is going to help all the industries and parallel industry, retail or non-retail.
So that's very, very interesting. What do you see would be the challenges faced by the industry going forward, considering there is so much technology happening, and you've been at the forefront of some of it, Kumar, I know it.
The biggest challenge which I see is adapting to the change. So, for example, you think about 10, 12 years back when ERPs used to be a big boom. So everybody was implementing Oracle, or somebody was doing SAP, or somebody was doing something. So change management for an organization, from a manual process, from a data entry, or a logbook, to some kind of software system, and from a software system to a mobile system, and then enterprise mobility, everything is basically driven by change. So change, but here now people have to adapt change in a more and more I should say the expedited manner, or I should say more in a very passionate manner. That's change has, so basically it has to be a passionate change, and that has to come from exactly from the top.
You've done some work on smart cities and smart environments and ecosystem. Would you like to pick up one example and share? And I'm saying this because there are a lot of youngsters and aspirants who are listening to this program and want to probably make some notes. And
so the first thing I gonna say, I was basically for a US university. I was looking into, I was on the board of their markers,
Very nice.
So for their IoT projects,
right,
and which had to be selected for the VCs, for acceleration.
Sure.
So some of the areas which I as a marker, and also as a on the other side of the table, which I identified was smart energy optimization.
Correct.
Is one of the areas, because if you talk about Middle East per se, this we have sunshine energy, so we have the power of sunshine in this part of the world, which is itself, the moment you have energy, like for example solar energy as a service, or solar energy, just like SaaS model, you have like software as a as a service. You can have a solar energy as a service. You can have solar inverters which can power your vehicles, your own basic things, basic amenities. So that's one area which I look as a huge potential. Second, the entire desert, this entire desert with hydroponics technology, which is digital hydroponics, which was one of my actually passion for Middle East, is to convert this into an agricultural land. I know someone with whom I'm contacting for vertical farming, and using solar energy to take it to the next level. And third thing is how to integrate energy and IoT together.
So back to agriculture, which has been close to my heart. Agriculture has been around for years and centuries, and we've been to the US, and there's a lot of advanced agriculture technology usage that goes on. Where do you see technology usage in agriculture going?
Oh, big time.
And I know you worked on it, that's why I'm asking you.
Yeah, big time. See, I'll first take a practical example what we do. We are into supermarket grocery business, right? So around I can't name the person, but a substantial percentage is vegetable sale. You know what I'm saying? The veg.
Absolutely.
Sale. Now in this part of the world, if you look at it, it is getting imported from agricultural farms of India, Pakistan, or different countries. So or Brazil, Australia. So it's all imports. Now imagine this great country of the Arab Emirates becomes a hydroponic center and does a vertical farming. You know what I'm saying? Uses nanotechnology, uses solar energy. Do you think it's a revolution of the Middle East to be an Arabian Silicon Valley? Which even is a big vision. Why? Because there's an abundant solar energy here. And the moment you have energy is just like cash, right? Energy is a cash for innovation.
I love your energy. Other than energy, what are the other two characteristics you think somebody should have for, let's say, somebody aspiring to get into your shoes?
Wow. Okay. Why I accentuated more energy? Because Middle East comes from oil and gas background. That's the reason personally. That's the reason energy, renewables are some of the areas.
What do you believe you would be doing if you were not in technology?
Actually coached the young generation, because I believe in future
Brilliant.
acceleration. Yeah, one of my passion I was doing for years, it was something very interesting I want to talk about. Is
Please.
one of my passion is to coach and mentor students. Yeah, whether they are from engineering, masters, management or doctorates. So bachelor's, masters, and doctorates in business, engineering, IT, and management. One of the universities, HOD, computer science. So, and a few universities in northern India. We all got connected online,
Okay.
and we did one project on smart city, smart world,
Okay.
which was done by people from electronics engineering, electrical engineering, computer science engineering, IT,
Oh, very
management.
nice.
And you can't imagine, we had a huge conference on that. I'm talking about year 2015, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. So 2015, we had a
Interesting.
conference in Noida, in
Interesting.
Greater Noida, on a smart city done by the students, and they had done like amazing conference. And I'm very proud to say to the entire community, most of them got well placed. And
Oh, very nice.
yeah, and one last thing, one of the guy called me sometime back, reached me on LinkedIn and said, "Sir, I was like very honored to be part of your the smart city
Right.
and getting inspired. I'm running a small startup. Can you please advise?"
Wow.
And
Wow.
yeah, it was like I think I achieved what I wanted to
Yeah.
achieve. I think the biggest achievement was, I should say, contentment. The achievement of contentment, that the people whom I trained, now they are not talking about jobs, they are talking about startups, and he is talking about healthcare blockchain. Can you imagine a BTech
Yeah.
fresher, a Bachelor of Technology fresher, engineering fresher, with hardly one and a half years experience and live project experience of smart cities, is starting a company to be funded by the VCs in Canada, and he's coding that blockchain platform.
Where is the technology startup industry going?
Wow, that's a very good question. See, I'll explain you. Industries, you talk about industrial revolution. So there's a business in evolution, business
Sure,
Darwinism as
sure.
well. And it's very important for the tech providers to align their strategy with different business, because at the end of the day, business are the clients.
Correct.
Business are the clients. All these businesses have to support this ecosystem.
Absolutely.
And they are powered by different kinds of VCs. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you have tier 1 VC, tier 2 VC. So there's a VC platform also. So if I draw a roadmap, or I should say a complete chart of tech providers, startups, entrepreneurs, you know what I'm saying? Again, the level of entrepreneurs, SME, small and medium enterprises, and larger organization. This is more of a graph theory now. I should say the mesh topology here. Now, when I say mesh topology, there has to be an optimization between finance, between marketing, between sales, between the product that you innovate and the product which is going to really create impact on the market. And that's the reason most of the aspiring entrepreneurs usually they get drifted from their area of innovation. Why? Because the ops thing becomes more and more it becomes more and more overwhelming. So it's very important to plan your entrepreneurship and innovation aligned to the kind of business ecosystem you are into.
Very interesting. Entrepreneurship and innovation.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people entering that field. What do you believe are the two characteristics that differentiate you from all the others in the industry? I know you wear the hat of an entrepreneur. I know you are an innovator. So, do you think these are inborn, or do you think people acquire them as they go along? Do you see more of that in the younger generation?
Yes, basically, if you go through the some of the there's something, leadership has a lot of styles. You have, for example, you call it acquired leadership.
Right.
Or one is inherited leadership.
Correct.
Or something like and something which is like inborn leadership. By the way, innovation is something. In the innovation also you have categories. What kind of innovations you do? It depends on your mindset and how you practice your mind. That's the first part. But yes, leadership can be, you can train yourself on different paths of leadership. But in order to be a successful entrepreneur, aligned with having the entrepreneurial skills on a lot of innovations, it's very important that you map your different stakeholders out, because you're not an industry with CFOs and CXOs.
Sure.
You are an MD, you are a decision maker, you are a sales guy, you are an accountant. At the end of the day, you are the one who is going to take the operations hit as well.
And what's the learning that you would give to the youngsters listening to the show?
Basically, intellect is your own wealth. More you practice is the only thing that you can practice, and you can scale it up. Just like your health. So your intellectual health is completely your jurisdiction. Now, how do you basically build your intellectual health and wealth? Is intellectual wealth you can build by feeding it with more intellectual stuff like case studies. Yeah. So I was just today, just an example, I was going through one of my somebody asked me something. I said, and he said it will take 30 days or something, 40 days to complete. And I don't know what came to my mind. I had a research from something like Gartner and Forrester, where my name coin was there. So I said, why don't you take a reference from here? So already they have put, so for example, so it's all about why, I'm sorry to take this example, but I'm trying to explain to you, it's very, very important that you take examples from the live case studies and build your intellectual maturity. So even intellectual maturity is more of a metamorphosis for innovators.
Excellent. Businesses, have they evolved embracing technology, or do you think there is still a lot to be desired?
Businesses have definitely gone through a major transformation. Again, I repeat the word Darwinism. Definitely business, because that's my favorite. I call it tech Darwinism, electronic Darwinism. Definitely they have gone through it. You see today, WhatsApp, I call it more like a trading platform today. The reason in the trading, in the sense of a business trade, I see a lot of traders that exchange pics of the you know what I'm saying, of their products, the prices.
Absolutely.
Even the documents they are sharing.
Yes.
I mean, it was not there.
Interesting.
And I'll tell you, being at Safari, for some time back, I never knew about WhatsApp. Myself, I did. When one of my end user told me, I think WhatsApp just came around 4 or 5 years back.
Yes.
Yeah. So that, you know what, he's not able to access WhatsApp. I said, what is WhatsApp? I never knew what is WhatsApp. I said, wow, this is a technology which does what it does. Then I got into it. Then from other markets, I heard, so that there is a web WhatsApp which can basically communicate to many things. So I mean, WhatsApp has changed it's a great people.
So there you are, Kumar Prasoon, lighting his way through, telling us so much about technology. Phew, I have it coming all over me. And this is the non-technical version of Kumar that you saw. So imagine what happens when you see a technology version. But brilliant delivery. I think he shared so much with us, and I hope you made notes. We bring people like these so that they can share their learnings, they can share their failures and tell us what we can do best. Also share some of the successes that you have done. So thank you very much. Pleasure having you, and
thank you very much.
Really, really nice talking to you.
Thank you. Most welcome.